Here's a funny Reddit story from the subreddit TIFU, and it's titled TIFU by making my dad punch a stripper in GTA and tearfully ask God for forgiveness in front of my entire family. When I was young, my brothers and I snuck a copy of San Andreas into the house. We spent days holed up in our basement taking turns playing, and down there, my parents didn't bother us too much. In order to get tons of money for guns, we have yet to figure out my parents' dial-up password, so cheats weren't a thing for us yet. We would go to the strip club and stand on the stage, absorbing the money dudes threw at the women, and just let the game sit for 10 to 20 minutes. We had to be careful though, because sometimes the strippers would do a move and bump into CJ, and the bouncers would shoot the place up. One day while I was playing, my mom yelled down to the basement at us to get ready. We're going to Pizza Hut. In a stroke of genius, I drove to the GTA strip club, got on the stage, and then turned the TV off and we left. It was to be the heist of the century. My dad, however, was at church at this time, practicing for a gospel concert he was singing in. He always filmed the practice so he can take notes at home upon playback, and this time was no different. While my mom and brothers and I were still at the hut, he arrived at home and plugged his camcorder into the VCR. We had just one VCR, and it was connected to the basement TV. Back at the hut, my mom gets a phone call. She puts her napkin down and slowly looks around the table at us and says, "Okay," a few times into the phone in this really calculating, specific way that she always did when she knew us kids were in trouble before we did. Naturally, it was at this point that we kids knew we were in trouble. For what though? We didn't know. After a very quiet minivan ride, we get home and my mom says, "Boys, why don't we go down to the basement? Your dad wants to show you his gospel practice downstairs." It was then at this point we knew why we were in trouble. So we dragged our feet down the stairs and lo and behold, my dad is sitting on the couch, TV on, a stripper swung swiftly back and forth on screen to evoke My Loving with CJ standing mere inches away collecting money. My dad starts in. "Boys, I don't even know where to begin. This PlayStation was a blessing to you for Christmas, and this is how you repay us? By breaking our trust?" He is holding the controller up now. Here I am, practicing to bring glory to God, but he was cut off as he inadvertently squeezed the controller, causing CJ to punch the stripper. My entire family stands in silence, watching together as the bouncers in the strip club shoot the place up for what seems like an eternity. After the shooting stops and CJ appears in front of the hospital, I look back and see my mom silently weeping into her hand. I look at my dad as a single tear rolls down his cheeks and he prays under his breath. After another eternity of silence, without a word, my dad bends down, disconnects the PlayStation, walks back to the family computer, disconnects it, goes to his car, and drives away. For the next 4 months, he kept the PS2 and PC locked in his office at work. It's one of my favorite memories of growing up. I miss my brothers. TLDR, wasn't allowed to play GTA growing up, of course got caught playing it. My dad interrupted his own lecture by accidentally punching a stripper and immediately asked for God's forgiveness. Let's see what other people thought of this story. First person says, "I looked at my dad as a single tear rolled down his cheek. Lol, how long did it take for things to go back to normal around your place after that?" The OP responds by saying, "My parents were able to compartmentalize punishment and anger about stuff like that pretty well, so we could be normal together as long as we avoided the subject. Lol, we can laugh about it now though. For the rest of that day though, me and my brothers just sat quietly in the basement and watched VHS tapes." Someone else asked, "Your parents laugh about it now too?" And the OP responds, "Yeah, ha ha ha, they think it's funny now." So the OP does provide some edits. First edit says, "Thanks so much for the response. I'm glad I could spread some laugh with this story. I just want to clarify that my parents weren't crazy at all, so no need to insult them. I love them so much. They just got overzealous and dramatic from time to time. I had a really great childhood with two loving and involved parents who tried really, really hard to live and raise our family by their convictions. It just doesn't always work out for everyone involved, like in this case, but it made for a great story that we can all laugh about now. I'm very much an atheist, and my parents know it, but we still get along great. Edit number 2. Also, my brothers aren't dead. We're just all spread out across the country now. I don't get to see them very much anymore, that's all. This story does remind me a little bit of my childhood. I remember some of my guy friends who are really into video games. Yeah, they end up buying games that were not meant for them to be playing at such a young age, but hey, they still did it. So reading this story, it brought back memories of my childhood. I would love to hear about what you guys think of this story. Have you guys ever experienced something like the OP? I would love to hear about it in the comments section. And if you like these types of stories, remember to continue to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.